Back again. Alright, this is video number 3. Last video we just covered the market direction, and we were ending off with support and resistance, or actually we're going to start with support and resistance in this video. So notice how I'm on the daily time frame here. Now the higher the time frame, obviously, the larger your outlook, where you can view price as a whole, as a macro level, on a yearly basis, see what's going on. You can see month to month, it shows start of the year, June, end of the year. And then as you zoom in a little bit, you can see month to month, week by week is each candle. You see what's just going on as a whole, right? So support and resistance. So what is support? Support equals an area that price stays above. It stays above. Let me see. I got my notes with me. Let me just see if that's good enough. An area that price stays above, okay, acts as a floor. Acts as a floor, and can also turn into a resistance. Okay, and a resistance is an area that price stays below. Acts as a ceiling and can also turn into a support. An area, or I'll say an area slash level, right? Area slash level that price is before. All right. So what does that mean? Okay. So I'm gonna grab this box right here, this rectangle. You'll see it on your left side in this section, rectangle, and I'm gonna draw. Let me see. This might be a little easier on the daily, actually. And I'm gonna draw. Yeah. All right. We're gonna focus right here, and I'm just gonna draw this right here. So we're gonna pick a point where price is respecting. Let's go right here. And we're just gonna draw this to the right, and we'll go just like this. So we see here price is going up, comes down, goes up, does its thing, comes back down, up, down. Notice how price is staying above this level. It's respecting this level, right? It's acting as a floor. Think of it like a basketball, right? Price is just consistently staying above this point. Simultaneously, look over to the right at the prices and notice how we're at 1.25 thousand. This is called a major key level here. Why is this a major key level? Because when you think on the global term, banks, hedge funds, when they're actually managing millions and billions of dollars, it's a little bit easier for them to operate on whole numbers, for accounting purposes and stuff like that. It's easier to say we'll take profit at 1.25 versus 1.25 freaking 1.2520, you know what I mean? Like banks, like they have billions of dollars in liquid floating in this 1.25. So notice how price is staying above this level. Perfectly round key level, 1.25 thousand. Price is respecting it. At the same time, delete that. Matter of fact, I'll just draw this. I'll put a little line here, and we'll mark this up just so we can follow along a bit easier. 1.25 thousand. So this tool actually that I just did is the ray tool. It's up here. It'll be highlighted. Horizontal ray. I used to use the line as well. The line just goes all the way across to the left. I just like the ray because it keeps it a little bit cleaner for my liking. Okay, so we have 1.25 thousand, which is also a support here, a major support, because remember, this is a daily time frame. The higher the time frame, the more solidified, I guess you could say, things are. So daily time frame, We have a support level at 1.25 thousand. And matter of fact, I'll extend this out just like that. So we can see here, price is respecting. It does break below at this point, comes back. And now, once price breaks below, this is where it turns into a resistance, right? Because it acts as a ceiling now. Price is below this point, and price is trying to, price is trying to break above. It's trying to test it. It's called testing. So price is testing this 1.25 thousand level / area, and it's trying to solidify itself again, right? It's either going to keep rejecting it from being a resistance. It's going to keep rejecting it, and it'll go like this. Oh. And it's going to keep messing around right there, and then ultimately switch into a downtrend. Or if there's enough buying pressure, and if there's enough buying pressure, we'll see what happened here, and it'll solidify itself and break above and continue on up. Notice how in this box that the candlesticks closed inside of the area as well, and this one closed above 1.25 thousand. That's a good sign. Maybe at the end of this video or in the next video, we'll get into candlesticks. There's going to be a little bit more to cover, a lot more actually, because I'm going to break down candles, how to read them, the open, high, low, and close of them, pretty much the whole body, and then we'll get into pattern work. We'll get into a few candlestick patterns because there's so many, and then we'll get into full on patterns, I guess you could say. Okay, so this is support, and then let's draw. Let me try and give you a better example of a resistance. We could do this point right here. Now notice how I'm picking these points as well. These are swing points, so price is trending up, or price is just trending, and it's points where they just completely reverse from, right? So price is moving up, and then bang, drop, right? Boom, price moving up. This one's a little bit shorter. Price would move into this level, drop, right? Price is going up, reverse, boom. Pretty much remember your higher lows and higher highs. Those points, those swing points, major reversal swing points, major reversal points, you could say. That's how I base off. That's how I mark my charts when I'm actually marking up, and I'll go to my personal, and maybe we could and I could give some examples. But this is a support. This is support. This is a resistance here. Price is going to come up. We're going to expect it to go back down. Obviously, we're in a solid uptrend, so price is going back up. Now let me remove that. Let's see. We're going to keep it going. Let's see here. Right here. So we'll use this one. Draw it to the right. So you can see. Boom, boom. Broke above. Price broke above. Came back. This is called a retest. Price came back down, retest this level. It's a support now, acting as a support because price is above it. Will it hold as a floor? Looks like it did. Bullish candle, and now it takes off. Now it comes back down again, testing the level again. Will it hold? Breaks below. Candle closes below the zone. Now it is, as soon as the candle closes below, now it's acting as a resistance, and you're looking for sells at this point, right? Price continues trying and testing, and then ultimately moves lower. All right. Let me see. Let's keep it going. An easier way to do this also is by using the line chart. That way you could pretty much, you could take this. It's an easier way to look at these major points, swing points, right? So you can draw this one here. Let's draw the box right there. And sometimes it looks super messy, like how price is doing it, but overall, it'll respect to a degree. As you can see, it broke below, came back, retested the point, as a resistance, went lower, came back up. It's messing with it, breaking above, breaking below, and ultimately respected. Just a little bit messy if we were to look at it like that. Respecting this level, and notice again, 1.27 thousand key level, major key level. That's usually where you'll see price acting weird, to say. Back to the line. Let's move to the left a little bit. We'll just go all the way somewhere this way. Clean it up. Okay, right here. Uptrend right here. Major reversal level. Let's put us on right here. Just like that. Okay, as you can see, price broke. Price hit it, reversed. Again, look to the right, 1.24 thousand. Watch. Make sure my cross is on it. Look to the right at that black, over the black's price, 1.2403. Pretty much right over here. Price comes back up, retesting it, rejecting it as a resistance because price is below. Breaks lower, makes a move, comes back up, acts wonky, ultimately accepts it as a support instead later on, right? Ultimately respects and takes off and does its thing, and then later on it'll do its own thing and it'll keep trending in whatever direction. All right, let's look down here. We have a support right here, just like that. Okay, this is 1 point. This one's a little bit, 1.19 thousand. Again, major key level. This isn't a coincidence. Boom, does its thing up there, comes back down, testing, breaks below. It's called a fake out, breaks back above, and continues on. There's gonna be little terms I'm saying like retesting, fake out. I have the notes for them, but I just want to keep it very simple. Maybe in the next video I'll do like I'll have a couple terms. I should have done that at first actually, but I'll set aside a couple terms just so we can be clear. Now let's see. That's support and resistance. So yeah, I mean that's support and resistance. It's that simple really. So you're just painting a picture. Notice how now it makes a little bit more sense when you look at a chart, right? So you could just say, okay, for example, let's go check out. Let's go look at Apple. See how Apple's doing. We're on the daily time frame again, right? There's gaps in here. I think because it's Saturday and Sunday, and the stock market's open Monday through Friday, so you have like the after hours price movements. Any news that occurs over the weekend will be reflected. I think there's a software you could pay for, an add-on I think you could pay for that'll fill the gaps in. Don't quote me on that. I could be completely wrong. But I think there's other charts, other softwares or programs. Yeah, softwares that'll allow you to have a little better view. But again, don't quote me on that. I don't know. Okay, some stuff here. All right, so we're looking at Apple. I'm gonna go up to a higher time frame just to remove the gaps as much as possible. There's still gaps here, obviously, but on the weekly, it just looks a little bit better. And that's how I like to view stocks, anyways, because stocks and crypto, I like to view it when I'm not trading it. I'll look at them more like a weekly, daily perspective. Just because if you're investing long term, you don't need to know what's going on day to day or 4 hour or any lower time frame than that. It's usually week by week where you see the moves that happen. So for example, let's just look at 2023, 24, and 25, right? I have this vertical line tool, again up here with the other lines, and then use this tool so you can mark out the dates. So I'm going to do 2023, 3rd of January, which is the Tuesday. Markets were obviously closed. Tuesday to Tuesday, markets were closed here. Bank holidays, charts will be closed. Most brokerages are closed to observe the holiday, FYI. And then I'll do December 30th, I guess. So this was all 2023. Apple entered the year. Apple entered the year being at $129.62 and ended the year. Let's say right here, ended the year at $191, $192. So that's a solid year, right? And $60 in profit. It's a solid year. So support and resistance now. So we're looking at this. You're like, okay, let's say we're about to be in 2033. I cannot talk. Wow. I'm going to use the bar replay tool. This is also a part of, remember, this is a part of the subscription that you pay for. So we could go back in time and act like this is today. So let's say, all right, let's say we're in March. It's March 13th, 2023 today, or the week of. And we're going to look to invest in Apple, right? So this is exactly what you would do. So instead of opening up your app on like Robinhood or some shit, and you see this stuff, and then usually they have it on like a daily time frame or something. And you could probably change it on Robinhood too. I'm not sure. I don't really use it anymore. I haven't used it since the GameStop hype and they froze people from depositing or withdrawing their money. That shit was lame. I see why they did it. Obviously, it would have killed them, but come on, it's your fault. So this is what you would do. Remember, so you would first start off by determining what is the trend of Apple, right? We're looking at this. What is the trend? We're just going to zoom out a little bit. Remember, we're on the weekly time frame, so we can see a lot more just off of this. So just by looking at this, what are we going to say? We were in some type of uptrend right here, going up this way. But now, what do we see? Looks like we're in a range, right? Moving down, up, down, up, down, up. Right? A little bit of a range here. We got a higher high right here, a higher low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high technically because it's still low, but then a higher low here, right? We're just moving sideways, no real trend going on. So now we can see we're in a consolidation, right? And you should keep draw a box around it, but just to highlight that. But we're gonna draw our support and resistance now. So we're gonna draw a high point from right here, and then we're gonna draw this zone right here, just like that. Okay, back to the candles, and then once you go to the candles, I refine them a little bit. I go to the candle close to the end of the wick. Shout out my mentor for refining that. I used to do it a little bit differently, based off the price itself, but I like this a lot more. It's very refined and allows price to, you get a very, very to the T view, I guess, for lack of better words. So now we have support and a resistance, right? So price is between 175 roughly. Let's mark it up. Let's just say 175, or just say 180 since it's right here at the top. So we have $180 up top, a high of 180 bucks from March 28, 2022, and we have a low point or support of 100 and let's say 130 bucks. Okay, right in the middle. So we're hovering in between this lane. It's been about a year now. So now, as an investor, I'm looking at this and I'm going to say, okay, we're in between this point. Price can do one of three things, remember, up, down, or sideways. It could continue staying in here, and we're looking to invest our money. We're going to look into buy into this long term and hold it, right? So price is currently at $148. We know we have a support of $130. We'd want to put our money in somewhere closer to this point down here, right? Because we're gonna expect, or we're banking on, we can't expect anything, remember. We can't expect or predict. We can just speculate on what's most probable, what's more likely to happen in our favor, right? Or to happen. So We have a support here. We see we respected it twice now. Once on June 13th, and the second time now at the end of the year in January/December. So now we're in March again of 2023. Let's wait and see. We're not going to put any money in here until price can come down somewhere near this $130 range. And then we'll put some money in to invest it and then hope we get a nice move upward. So that's scenario 1. That's what we want to happen, right? Scenario 2 would be price continues upward and it respects as a resistance and it comes back below, which we would avoid putting our money in at this point. We wouldn't do anything here. So this is what we really want. And then scenario 3 is price comes up and it breaks above this $180 range, comes back down to act as a support, and then we put our money in at 180 bucks because it's more likely that this is going to continue on higher. And this is now a new higher low, right? Or a high low. Okay. So I'm going to draw this in green. This is what we want. This is what we don't want. And then this is option 2 in orange. So we'll take that. And then I'll draw there's a little circle somewhere that I can just put on where we would put our money in Eclipse. And boom, bam. Why is that red? That's so horrendous. Why is this red? Put it in blue. Or teal, whatever color this is. Why is it so thick too? Jesus. Pause. Big pause. Excuse me. So we'll get in here. And we would get in here. So these are our areas of interest. So as an investor, because you are an investor now, even if you have a full-on career, full-time job or anything, but now this is just you're adding skills to your belt. You're giving yourself some type of protection, some knowledge, something you can apply where you could give you an edge to make better, investing decisions with your money. So we're gonna let this play out and see where price goes, right? So we have 3 scenarios. All we can do is react. This is what we really want. We don't really care for this to happen, but if this does happen, it could also end up breaking above as well. So let's see. I'm gonna let it play. We put it on 5x so it could go a little faster. So we're gonna let this play out to see what's going on. Okay, notice here we have a weekly candle closing above this level. So now plan orange or plan orange. Plan B is happening. Our second preferred move is happening. So we can get rid of this. We can get rid of that and get rid of this and get rid of this. So now we're gonna wait for that pullback, that retest. We're gonna wait for price to come and give us something like this, and then we're gonna buy down here and we're out, and then we'll hop in, right? So let's wait and see if we get that. And now let me remind you, actually, while we're doing this, we were looking at it from over here. This has been 112 days, 119 days. This has been 4 months. This is July now, March, July, right? And yeah, you could say I could have put my money in right in the middle. That's a fourth option. You could have just put your money in anyways. But there's nothing. What's to say that didn't just completely just start going this way? Because remember, we did consolidate a little bit, and I'm pretty sure I went over consolidation. Usually, it's at the end of a trend, so we're going up. Consolidation. Usually, it can be a sign of a reversal. Usually, I'd say maybe 7 out of 10 times, 6 out of 10 at least, but 7 out of 10 I'd say. But this was a very short reversal. This is more so a pattern. We'll get into that. What I mean by pattern also would be a double bottom, W, pretty much. We'll get into that. But we don't want to get in the middle in no man's land. That's a gamble. That's where the trading, investing, this is where the gambling. People, it's a big tomato or black and white argument about between trading and gambling. This would be gambling, getting in right in the middle. Unless you have a strategy that gives you more clarity where you could catch a buy here at some point. But on a chill level, like I'm teaching this and trying to explain it as simple as possible so you can be working your career, doing whatever your passion is in life, and be able to do this on the side on like a Monday or Sunday night when you're like and you have nothing going on, you're watching football. Let me check some stocks real quick. Let me check my investments, and you can place an alert right here. Why can I place an alert? You can place an alert. Why doesn't it let me place an alert? Might be because I'm in replay mode. But you can place an alert, and 4 months, 3-4 months later, you'll get a ping, and then you'll know to check it, week to week, and then boom, you check it, and 2 weeks later, it's above. You're like, okay, and now we're just waiting. How long was this now? Now this is 40 days. So you see, it's just a big waiting game. You're like a lion waiting for your hunt, right? So now we're waiting for this to come back down. We're at $190 area. We're waiting for this to come into the 180s. 180, high 170s. Okay, let me let this play. Let's see, can we come down? Boom, beautiful, bang, right? This is where we put our money in. This is when you invest. This was the better option at 130. If it was over here, we would have made we would have drawn this out until we want to get in somewhere down here again. It is what it is. You missed the train. That's the thing. Don't get discouraged when you miss the bus. There's always, the market has been here for hundreds of years.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm going to retract that. The market's been here for a couple decades. but but the principles are the same. Do not rush. The markets are going to be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and 6 months later the next bus will come. The next train, the next opportunity will come. Yes, it would have been better for us to get in somewhere down here, but we don't have a crystal ball. It's not an educated decision to just buy in the middle of nowhere just because it might go up, right? This is a luck. This is a gamble. Again, there's no reason where this couldn't just smack a level, smack $150, and then frickin' JP Morgan decide to sell all their shares of Apple, their $1 billion worth of shares of Apple, and this thing just goes down to the dirt. You don't want to do that, right? And I would say that too. Like this doesn't move price. Like these supports and resistances, it's what happens in the real world. But this is just a way for us to again paint a picture with it and make a little bit more sense on what's likely to happen. What makes price break above these points is news. Something must have happened between the 22nd and 30th that week in May. It could have been a new phone announcement. It could have been a new advancement for Apple. Who knows? Usually it's economic things, wars, a breakout, an attack, pandemic, things like that. A competitor goes down. Elon buys. Elon says, CEO of Apple buys something, like things like that again, or what causes price to move in different directions. But most investors and firms and all the players in the market have their own type of picture painted, and they're acting on the same info as us. Some of them have more info. Some have more info than others because your network and things of that nature. But rant over. Boom. We put our money in. So we put our money in here, $176, 57 cents. You buy your 25,000 shares or whatever, however many you can afford, you buy your shares. Boom, we're locked in. And now I'm going to put speed this up a little bit, and let's let it play out. We have a higher high. Is this going to be our new higher low? Now we're going to see another move up, move up. Let's see. Okay, we're testing. Oh, we're breaking below, breaking back above. We're wonky. We're at $180 in price. Remember, we're at a key level. Fat round number. It doesn't work. I don't know if it works the same as it does in Forex because these are companies. These are just company prices for stock prices. But I'd say it has a degree of relevance. You can just tell by how price kind of reacts. This area was respected a lot. So this is $183. So this whole area was respected. Probably could have drawn a different type of box, but this area as a whole was respected to a degree. But I just said $180 to make it easier. So as you can see, up and down, up and down, up and down. Price kind of dips into that 169, 170. Great price, but you're also in at a great price anyways. Don't even worry. You can't. It's not really possible to always catch the best bottom or catch the top. It's not possible. If you do, you're lucky. Right? So we're in right here. So mind you, time check. We bought in here August 14th. The week of August 14th, we bought. We loaded up on our 100 shares. Okay, price is doing all this. Where is it now? We're at 173 now. It's been 224 days. Remember, we're investing. You just bought this thing and you don't even look at it. You go about your daily life. So 224 days later, August to March, so about 8 months later. Is that math right? About 8 months later or so, we're in the same spot. Again, we're hoping this can go up. So let's see. Let me see. I guess I could draw this. Keep drawing this to the right. Alright, there's the move, y'all. Just like that. You know, the markets don't always move aesthetically pleasing wise, but the principle is the principle. So this move happened more so like this. We got in right here. We prefer to do that, but what we really got was this, this, then this, right? So overall, it's a solid price. The lowest it went was 165 bucks. It's the close of this week, April 15th. So about another year later from when you bought. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, about 8 months later from when you bought. Price was only lower by 20 bucks. It was only $20 cheaper. So you could have still got more here. You could have bought more here. But again, remember, this is now a resistance. So you wouldn't want to do that. Maybe if price broke back above here and it closed at $180, $83, you could say, you know what, I'm going to buy some more. Dollar cost averaging. They say, well, dollar cost averaging when you buy it lower, but you could have bought some more here. Believe in the original analysis. Like, this is bullish. Remember, higher high, higher low, equal high, or is this high higher? Sometimes it cuts it close. This closed at 197.57. I'm looking at the close here. When you hover it right above, it'll tell you 197.57. What was the high at this point? 195. This is a higher high, y'all. By $2. It's a higher high though. This right here. Let me see. New week. Okay, this right here is it's a low. It's not a higher low. This is still the higher low. But that's okay because this is a pattern. I guess I'm gonna go right into patterns to paint the picture even better. This is a W. Double bottom's a bullish pattern. Price hits the same level twice. Look at that W, and look at what the move we got. It made another W. It's a big W. It took a while. It's a 196-day W or double bottom. But you bought it right here, and now we're going into into now almost 2025, and we're up. Price at 222. We bought at 180. That's a $40, $46, $46 come up. All right, let's let it play out. And this is where we are current date. So these were the times to buy. Was at this $180 range, $175, $180 range was the place to buy 2023, 2024. We had many options in between as well. We had a whole year's worth of options, but price kind of hovered in the same area. Really anywhere in here, because investing is just, you just shoot and hold, right? Anywhere in this area would have been a good range to buy. But using the principles that I'm teaching y'all, just like the basic fundamentals, you want to invest your money where it makes sense to. Now, like I said, obviously throwing in 50, $100, just letting it sit there, sure, throw it in wherever in this area. But if you want to practice being precise, boom, boom, boom. Now price is up. Price touched 256, almost $100 gain, about $70, $80 gain. Let's see what's the percentage on that. 33%. You put in $100, now it's worth $130 for over a year and a half. $100. It doesn't sound a lot with just $100, but 10,000. Now we're talking, right? Plus